Will Bitcoin explode in December? Are we due for a Santa Claus rally? What is happening with that damn Bitcoin ETF? And what news today has happened that could indicate that that Bitcoin ETF could be coming in early January? Lots of big things to cover today in the news. Lots happening in the crypto space. As always, a very exciting time, of course, to be investing in these markets with us basically sitting here looking at this incredible tsunami, this mile-high tsunami of Wall Street money that's about to enter the space. And I know it's a dirty deal that we're doing, but man, they're going to pump the bags like crazy. It's going to be nuts, guys. Of course, welcome everybody to today's conversation. Super excited as always to see you here. Shout out if you're joining this live conversation on YouTube or X, or rewatching this or re-listening, I should say, later on the Apple or Spotify podcasts. So let's just hop straight into this. And of course, I see you guys in the chat. Make sure if you got some great questions for me, hold those till the end. We're going to cover the news first, and we're going to open up for a Q&A session. So whatever you have on your mind, whatever altcoins you want to talk about or macro news you want to talk about, whatever else, say what's in the chat, and we will be diving into those questions. So let's start off with this. The Santa Claus rally. Will it come? Will December be a bullish month for the markets? Now, a Santa Claus rally is a bit of a meme, if we're being real here, right? Although we have seen some pretty spectacular Decembers for Bitcoin, but it's actually not the norm. And I want to point this out here because while we could get a very bullish December based on hype alone around a Bitcoin ETF, I mean, if everybody starts waking up and realizing like, holy cow, they're going to approve a Bitcoin ETF in a month's time, I better get some Bitcoin. Yeah, we could have a very bullish December in that case. And of course, we are right at a very key level right now with the price, but more on that momentarily. Now, if you look at previous Decembers here, now October is Uptober. In most cases, Octobers are bullish months. Novembers can be a bit of a mixed bag, but we tend to have some decent Novembers. But December's really, we don't have a lot of great data for December's in very bullish years. We can have very bullish Decembers. 2020 was a very bullish December, 46% up, almost 47%. 2017, very bullish December, up 39% that month. 2016, also bullish December. But every other year, December has not actually been a super bullish month. You know, so if you think about that, maybe it's not going to be the most bullish situation possible. But again, we are looking at the potential Bitcoin ETF approval. This could be one of those years where we see some pretty crazy stuff happening. So while we would like to talk about a Santa Claus rally and December is going to be a great month, historically, December is a bit of a mixed bag. If anything, we have some epic rallies and generally underperforming in the month of December. Will that be the case this December? Is everybody going to get disenchanted, disillusioned, be so deep in disbelief that they're going to just not buy Bitcoin when BlackRock's about to get a Bitcoin ETF? I mean, sure. Hey, why not? That's how the markets work sometimes. Standard Chartered Bank out here predicting that Bitcoin is going to reach $100,000 by the end of 2024. My only comment to that is, why so bearish, guys? $100,000. Come on. You got, those are rookie numbers, man. You got to step that up. Standard Chartered Bank. What is this? A price prediction for ants? Let me know your price prediction in the chat or in the comment section. Is Standard Chartered right? Is $100,000? Is that the end of 2024 price target? Of course, they're saying end of 2024. Maybe we get up to 150K and 100K by the end of the year. Details, right? Details matter. But what do you think? Is 100K by the end of 2024, is that reasonable? Not bullish enough? Or overly optimistic? Keen to hear your point of view on that. Let me know. Now, taking a look here at Bitcoin, another great rally today for Bitcoin, cruising up to $38,420 approximately again, which is basically the same level that we got to back on the 24th of November. Very fascinating price action, actually. Very fascinating price action. Because basically an equal top to what happened just a few weeks ago. Another attempt to move over that 38K barrier, which we have now had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today is the 6th failed attempt to crack over 38K. Bitcoin, of course, at the time we're having this conversation is cruising up there. It's a few dollars away from 38,000. Can it put a daily close above the 38K barrier? Let's see. Let's see. We got this beautiful ascending triangle here. Of course, it's an ascending triangle and an uptrend, which generally bodes well for a future price breakout to the upside. The price target of this will get us up over the 40K range. We shall see. We shall see. Very interesting price area right now. Of course, we could still come back down to, well, in this particular ascending triangle that we're looking at, we come back down to around like $36,000, still be within that structure. The 50-day exponential moving average down here around $35,000. Might be time to update my $30,000 bid, or just be patient. I don't know. Hard to say. Just maybe stack a little more sats, keep the bid in just in case. Maybe I'll do that. Just in case you wake up one of those days and there's some Cointelegraph tweets out that the Bitcoin ETF has been denied. True or not? We've seen that before from crypto media. But that would definitely freak markets out and give that potential entry point. I guess that's what I'm gambling on with my 30K bet right now. Yeah. Jeremiah 212CA saying people don't have a lot of disposable income in December. This is true. This is true. You know, in December, people are out buying their gifts and stuff like that. And we're not in like a mania phase right now. But then the flip side is, do the Wall Street guys and the people with money, are they all looking at it and going like, a Bitcoin ETF's coming? We got to front run BlackRock. We got to get on it. We'll see. We'll see. By the way, before we get into the rest of the news here, if you're a cryptocurrency trader, check out BYBIT, guys. Best place to be trading your crypto coins. You want to trade futures, you want to trade spot altcoins, they got you covered. Very popular copy trading service as well. You can get huge bonuses and exclusive fee discounts by using the link down below in the description to start your account. Or if you prefer an on-chain trading experience, then you can check out Apex, which is BYBIT's decentralized exchange. You can check that out down below as well. So, Bitcoin ETF news. Interesting stuff happened. Very, very interesting stuff here. This is, you got to hear this because this is crazy. So today, the SEC decided to delay 2 Bitcoin ETF applications, which you might think, wow, how's that a bullish story, Lark? This is actually very curious and potentially very bullish because this is a move, as Bloomberg analyst James Seifert saying here, that could line every applicant up for potential approval by January 10th. So we have to look at the numbers here. We have to look at the approval dates. This is very, very interesting. So Pew Pew Boom 2. Yes, I've seen coin today. My Coinbase stocks are doing fantastic. I should have bought more. I know. Always the case, isn't it? We see things pumping. I should have bought more. Why didn't I buy more? Actually, I have an order in to buy at $85 for more coin stocks, but I don't know if that's going to get filled either. We shall see. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. So the deadlines for the Bitcoin ETFs. ARK's Bitcoin ETF deadline. You can see here the final deadline, January 10th. And that's the date everybody keeps talking about. January 10th. And you'll see the third deadline for BlackRock, Bitwise, VanEck, WisdomTree, Invesco, Wise, and Valkyrie are all mid-January. So they're all coming up. And this delay for Hashdex and the Franklin Bitcoin ETFs, which were scheduled to have their approval or denial for their second deadline on the 1st of January, that has been delayed. So now they're pushed back to the end of March, essentially. But what that potentially means is that it's opening up the door so they don't have to approve, deny, delay, any of that kind of stuff right there. What they can actually do is now approve everybody with the ARK. Bitcoin ETF. We shall see. Again, nobody can predict the future. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. Obviously, the SEC still has the option to deny if they really want to. I don't know what reasons they're going to find to deny, but they can always do that. So you have to keep that in mind. That's a potential thing that can happen here. I know we all want it to be approved, and it looks like it's going to be approved. They're talking to these companies, which have literally never done before. We're seeing amendments put in. We're seeing the kind of conversations going on that usually happen when they're about to approve an ETF product. Very interesting. So again, a lot of convergence here, a lot of estimation, prediction, foresight, prognosis, whatever you want to call it, that early January period is when we're going to see a Bitcoin ETF approved. Now, obviously, there's a lot of speculation. And if it doesn't happen then, and if they deny the ARK Bitcoin ETF, well, then expect market chaos in early January. Something to keep in mind. It's not a done deal till it's a done deal. It's not over till the fat lady sings, right? Keep that in mind. But it's looking like we're heading in the right direction. Joe Brown here saying the Bitcoin ETF approvals are being front-loaded and front-run through miners right now, which is a theory I've seen put forward by quite a few other people too online recently. Basically, that BlackRock and co. they're getting their Bitcoin, but they're not buying it on Coinbase. They're helping to accumulate it through miners who are stacking up supply for these big players. Very interesting thought. Joseph goes on, while this will likely be bullish for Bitcoin in the long run, the short term will very likely be a buy the rumor, sell the news situation, which is something we discussed here. The Bitcoin ETF is actually buy the rumor, buy the news. Very, very bullish event, like the gold ETF was. However, those first few days post-trading, and this is actually what happened to gold, the first few months after the gold ETF was approved, big run up to the gold ETF approval. A few months after, price kind of stagnated. It didn't go down dramatically because people still realized, oh, wow, ETFs are here. It's really big news. But it was a bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news, very short term. And then when that short-term lull passed, the price rallied by 400%. We could see a situation like that here. Joseph goes on, the actual approval will likely be followed by a quick spike, then a sell-off in the short term because the Bitcoin necessary for the initial ETF launches is already purchased. Front runners will unload on retail buying the news. It's a tough game out there, guys, and you're either a whale or plankton or a lamprey. You can be a lamprey. Ride the whales. Ride the whales. Don't be plankton, my friends. You are not plankton. You're not plankton, my friends. After the initial sell-off and over the long term, as more money slowly funnels in, they'll have to accumulate more and more bullish long run, not so much short run. Of course, this is about the mystery whale here who keeps buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin, buying 539 Bitcoin this morning. I mean, whose morning is that? Which one of you did this, huh? Who is this? Who is this? Which one of you guys is this right here? Come on. Over the last 28 days, they have amassed 10,300 Bitcoin, propelling them to the number 73 on the Bitcoin rich list. I mean, that is a chunk of change right there. Who is this cat? Who starts their morning with, I have a nice tea, look at the sunrise, that's great, and buy 539 Bitcoin on spot. Boom! Probably an institution. Probably not just a dude. Could be a dude. There's plenty of billionaires out there who have the cash to make this happen. But likely institutional players are front-running the Bitcoin ETF news. Of course, that Bitcoin can always be sold later on, obviously, but they are keeping the stuff all on chain. They're taking it off, putting it in their wallets. That is significant. That is significant. So very interesting news right there that we're seeing with huge accumulation by whales going on. And I like this sentiment here from Bitcoin Archive. Every day under 100K is a gift. We used to say about 30K and about 20K. And of course, if you remember way back in the day, if you were here in early 2020, or if you were here with me in 2019 and 2018, talking about buying Bitcoin under 10K is going to be a gift long term. And yeah, this market cycle was crazy. The bear market was crazy. We got down to $15,500 or something at the absolute low point for Bitcoin. But guess what? Had you stacked a bunch of Bitcoin under $10,000, you would have been still 100% plus in profits potentially. Perspective, time frames, time preferences. Keep them low. Keep them low. And Bitcoin's going to deliver for you. And yeah, one day buying Bitcoin under 100K is going to seem as ridiculous as buying Bitcoin under 10K is right now. The day will come. Hear me now, quote me later, but the day will come. The day will come, my friends. Also, can we just take a moment to sit back and think about who the heck is selling their Ethereum and selling their Bitcoin to BlackRock right now, knowing that ETFs are going to come, knowing that ETFs are going to bring tens of billions of dollars of fresh liquidity into the markets? Man, I just don't know. I just don't know. This is crazy stuff out here. TWP Finance pointing out the next Bitcoin halving going to take place in April 2024, which of course we know. But what's interesting is that by that time, 97% of all possible Bitcoin will have been mined. You really have to think about how insane that is. We have such a small amount of Bitcoin to come out in the future. Mining of the remaining 3% will take another century. The vast majority of that 3% that's left will be mined by like 2036. We'll have mined like, I don't know, another 90% of it or something like that. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. If you have one Bitcoin, I'm telling you, in a few years' time, you are going to be in an elite club of holders without a doubt. And look at this. This is a crazy stat. 25,000 Bitcoin have been withdrawn from exchanges in just the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, guys, huge accumulation going on. People are stacking like crazy right now. Crazy. Inflows into Bitcoin investment products reach $1.5 billion year to date. Crazy. Inflows into digital asset products rose for a 9th consecutive week. Again, massive accumulation is continuing here right across the board for Bitcoin. It's whales, it's retail buyers, it's institutional buyers. Everybody sees the writings on the wall that the Bitcoin ETF is coming. And I like this point here by 0xJPEG as well. $1.6 trillion in retail money sitting in money market funds. With rates peaking, there's going to be so many new dollars entering the markets in the next 12 months. Total crypto market could go to $10 trillion. Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, for perspective, that number has basically doubled in the last year. So what happens when half that money moves back out of the market? Well, it starts going into stocks, starts going to tech stocks. People start looking for higher yields. And some of that money comes back into Bitcoin. Now, we don't have to have $1.6 trillion coming to Bitcoin. If some of that money market fund money moves into Bitcoin, even $10 billion, you have to realize the supply is so short. It's so thin right now. With the halving coming, especially, miners are going to have even less to dump moving forward. The Bitcoin sitting on exchanges, 2 million Bitcoins on exchanges, but how much that's actually for sale? Probably less than half. It's not just all sitting there with sell orders on it. No, it's just saying people's wallets on exchanges. They just too lazy to take it off Coinbase or whatever. $10 billion from these money market funds. Maybe it goes into Bitcoin ETFs, maybe it goes into spot Bitcoin on exchanges, but that's a lot of money it can come in. And so with these Bitcoin ETFs, man, so much potential here. And there's so much money on the sidelines right now that's not in Bitcoin that can be in a very, very short amount of time. Now, before we get into the rest of the news here, guys, just a quick note. If you're not signed up for the Wealth Master newsletter yet, you are missing the heck out. Best damn newsletter in crypto. By the way, I know it's my newsletter and I'm super biased when I say that, but it's true. It's true. It's best damn newsletter. Altcoin Alpha, crypto news, airdrop alpha, NFT alpha, altcoin alpha, just all kinds of crazy alpha. We spent about 40 hours a week putting this bad boy together for you guys. Got 90,000 people reading it weekly now for free. Use the link in the description where you can sign up for free and join our 90,000 weekly readers, getting the best crypto info straight to your inbox. Now, let's cover some other news here. So, SEC is still looking for potential FTX-style fraud at BINANCE US, according to a report. Obviously, BINANCE lawyers saying, yeah, look all you want, but you're not going to find anything. Binance CEO apparently they're trying to make it so that he can't go back to the UAE, thinking, well, he's too much of a flight risk. He's not going to come back for sentencing, all that stuff. Like, man, the dude already came. Like, he wants his company to succeed. Like, the whole deal is sort of hinging on that all happening. So they really want to try and beat this dead horse as much as possible, I think. And I don't know how much more beating the Binance horse can take here in terms of it being something substantial in terms of having any real impact on the markets. The biggest thing for Binance International, of course, which is the big daddy, has been solved. It has been de-risked. Binance US is, 4th or 5th biggest exchange in the USA? It's not even that big of a deal anymore, to be honest. So we'll see if the SEC finds anything. My guess is they're probably going to not find anything. You never know, but I think it'll all probably end up being fine for Binance US, much like they've wasted a lot of other time going after people who haven't done very much wrong. SEC, man, going after Coinbase, going after Kraken, just what a waste of time. What a waste of taxpayer money. Jeez. Hey, by the way, here's a funny one for you. Jim Cramer told everybody to sell Bitcoin when it was like, I don't know, 25K or something like that. Paul Tudor Jones, legendary investor, increased his allocation from 1% to 5%. Be careful whose thoughts you let into your mind, because that proves a very interesting point. There's something I want to talk about too. So Charles Hoskinson, big fan of Charles. Charles is a great guy. Had a chance to meet him before. It's been some years since I've seen Charles. It's been a couple years since I talked to him. I should get him back on one of these days for a talk about Cardano, to ask him, hey man, what's up with Cardano these days? Are you happy with where Cardano is these days? Has Cardano gone the way you thought it was going to go? And all these sort of things. Charles is a great guy to talk to. What's going on with me today? Charles is a great guy to talk to. Anyway, he was doing a stream. He's got a lobster there. I'm a big lobster fan. Lobsters, cool animals. Anyway, he was saying that it's ridiculous that the SEC is targeting Cardano. He said, explain the difference to me between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Now, obviously, Bitcoin, the OG cryptocurrency, Satoshi mined like a million coins for himself. Nobody else is really looking at the network very much. But, everybody had a chance to do it. It was a fair launch, so to speak, with, that email list getting it back in the day. And it's a very interesting point, though, I think, especially when you talk about Ethereum. Now, you can maybe say, hey, look, Bitcoin gets a special pass because of its immaculate conception with Satoshi and all this sort of stuff. But realistically, Cardano is also a commodity. I really believe that if Ethereum is a commodity, which it is, then Cardano is one too. And see, Cardano was even more careful. Cardano didn't take any U.S. investor money. They almost exclusively raised out of Japan and a few other, Hong Kong investors, whatever, I think too. But basically is a big East Asian raise. And they've launched the network. It's a running network. It's an operational network. They've got staking and smart contracts and all this sort of stuff. I mean, how is that any different than Ethereum? Because Cardano has been implicated in the Coinbase case. Cardano has been implicated in the case against Kraken as being a security. But how? How is it a security? Of course, the SEC is never going to tell anybody because the SEC just keeps secrets. They're like, ha, you're doing something wrong. Well, what am I doing wrong? We're not going to tell you. You have to guess. If I guess right, are you going to tell me? No. That's the SEC in America. It's a very frustrating process for any cryptocurrency company based out of the USA or having anything to do with the USA. And I completely agree. I agree with Charles Hoskinson here, to be honest. Let me know if you agree with him, that you think that it's ridiculous that Bitcoin and Ethereum are getting a pass while Cardano is not. And maybe you could argue Bitcoin should be the only one to get a pass. Everything else is a security. If you want to take the Bitcoin maximalist perspective, but then you probably need to include Litecoin because Litecoin fits the same parameters. You probably need to include Monero because it fits the same parameters, and 100 other proof of work coins. So we're only going to do proof of work coins. Any coin that raises money is inherently evil, and it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even make any sense. The SEC makes no sense. They're applying no logic to what they're doing. They're basically just throwing as much crap at the wall and hoping that something sticks somewhere, or that they can bully companies like they do with Library. Library is if you guys don't know, Library was a kind of like a YouTube, decentralized YouTube sort of thing, right? And they basically had to shut down because the SEC bullied them. And they said, hey, your utility token is actually investment contract and, blah, 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 how you test. And they just didn't have the money in court to fight them because Library never really made a lot of money. It was a popular enough service. People used it. People watched videos over there. There was a big community of people who liked posting over there. And it's sad because they had to shut all this down because they got bullied by the SEC. And unlike Ripple, who has, a war chest of billions of dollars probably, they didn't have the money to fight the SEC in court. So they just settled and shut everything down, which is unfortunate. I hope Cardano fights. I think Cardano's got the cash to fight. Maybe Charles needs to take this to the SEC, man. Sue their butts because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Okay. Speaking of ridiculous news, Blast, the new Ethereum layer 2, backed by Paradigm, but not necessarily vouched for by Paradigm, let's say. Anyway, these guys reached $500 million in total value locked in 5 days. Arbitrum took 13 days, Solana 25 days, BNB 100, Phantom 183, right on down the way there. That's fast. $500 million in 5 days, man. Huge amounts of bullish aping going on with people just throwing crazy amounts of money right into the cryptocurrency market, into basically a multi-sig wallet that doesn't have any working technology currently, but it's got to trust us, bro. We're going to do something in the future because look at this thing we did before. And I'm not saying that Pac-Man and the Blur team, NFT marketplace Blur, can't deliver on this layer 2 and all that kind of stuff. But man, the degenerate aping in crypto is strong right now, which is a bullish thing for the markets, if you ask me. Some crypto gaming news here for you guys. Shrapnel, they've got a big lawsuit filed today. So look, I'm not an expert on this lawsuit, but there's a lawsuit going on. So apparently there's a hostile takeover in progress by the majority shareholder. They're looking to replace the CEO. The CEO came out and said, no, I'm still the CEO. Some internal struggles going on. Apparently, they're refusing to issue shares to investors. They're trying to use company funds to pay off debts. 6 of the current founders are suing to gain control. Oh, nothing like a bit of drama in crypto, isn't there? Anyway, the game still going. Things are still happening, but this kind of drama can definitely weigh heavy on investors' minds. Gala's going through a similar kind of thing right now. There's a big $100 million plus lawsuit, all kinds of accusations going on. And man, I don't know the ins and outs of this, and it's going to play out in the courts, I'm sure, or some kind of settlement is going to be reached. But there is a lot of crazy crap that goes on in crypto. There's a lot of crazy crap that goes on behind the scenes that people don't really see when these teams are fighting or they're sleeping with each other and they break up and start stabbing each other in the back and all this kind of stuff. You got to remember, behind a lot of these crypto games, crypto protocols, whatever, there's developers who sit down and write code. There are marketing managers who have to manage the social media accounts and stuff like this. There's stuff going on. And when you have these human realities, shit happens. Anyway, game that's going a bit better than that in terms of not having a lawsuit. Illuvium. So Illuvium launching today, I guess. Today, I'm not sure if it's launched already at the time of recording or not, but yeah, pretty cool. The game looks beautiful, by the way. Hey, also, can I just mention, got a huge bag of Illuvium, big ILV fan. Hope that it moons like crazy. Obviously, as always, guys, if you want to know my full portfolio, there's a portfolio disclosure link down in the description, as well as an important risk disclosure that you can lose all of your money by investing in cryptocurrencies, which is something you should always keep in mind. I know we all like think about everything's going to go 100x. I'm going to be a rich genius. Also think about the it can all go to zero and I'm an idiot perspective. Also important. Anyway, game looking beautiful here for Illuvium launching today. Now, will there be a buy the rumor, sell the news? I would certainly keep an eye out for that. I know when we have these big launches, big announcements, we have these sorts of things happening, but the game is looking very nice. If they can attract players, I think it has a very good potential moving forward. So, yeah, congratulations to the team for getting the game out there into the world. Very exciting stuff to see. And one final bit of altcoin news here is that Trader Joe has finally reached their total supply of 500 million tokens. There will be no further Joe tokens minted. That's crazy, man. That means that essentially Trader Joe's going to go to the moon. I hope anyway, because I have a big fat bag of Trader Joe. But I actually really like Trader Joe. It's actually one of my favorite exchanges to use in terms of an experience using exchanges. It's really nice. It's really user friendly. Yeah, I've done a lot of like liquidity provision over there and different stuff on AVAX and on Arbitrum, mostly on Arbitrum these days. But one of the things I like the most about the Joe token is the real yield. They pay you real money, USDC, for staking their tokens. And that's real yield that comes from exchange fees. Brilliant. All right. Let's open up the floor. What are your questions? Let's talk crypto, guys. Let's talk crypto. Drop some sweet questions in here. Pew Pew Boom 2 says, Lark, you ever going to talk about the Joe lawsuit? I guess you're talking about Trader Joe, the food store, is apparently suing Trader Joe, the crypto exchange, over naming rights. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't think it's a particularly big issue because it's not like they're saying it stole all of our intellectual property or something like that. It's just a naming issue. Maybe Trader Joe has to change it to Trader Bob in the future. I guess we'll see. Trader Joe Bob. There you go. That'll solve the problem, guys. Just call it Trader Joe Bob. It'll be fine. Anyway, I don't think that's a particularly big issue compared to some of these other things we see going on with some of these gaming lawsuits where there's a lot of internal strife between the team that can take a lot of money and resources and time away from actually developing the games and all these sorts of things. Anyway, okay. Where are we up to? Michael's life cycle. Do you own any stock or are you 100% crypto? I got plenty of stocks. You can also find a full disclosure of my stock portfolio in that link for my crypto portfolio. Anyway, I got lots of stocks. One of my biggest holdings right now is actually the Coinbase stock. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice one. I think it's going to 10x. Well, maybe not from the current. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I think it gets up to $1,000 potentially this cycle. We'll see. If it gets to $1,000, I'm going to sell it all and take that money and then reinvest it back into dividend stocks. A lot of my portfolio is actually made up of dividend stocks, different stuff, renewable energy providers, banking stocks. I know it's dirty, but they pay good money, guys. I'm not going to turn the sweet banking dividends down. Other stuff too. Quite a few technology stocks, rocket stocks, and different car makers, things like this. Very bullish on tech stocks overall. Not the super huge cap ones. Like I don't own any Apple or Microsoft. Like what's the point? Basically, I'm here to make money, not to, I don't know, hold Apple stocks because I don't see them being huge money makers moving forward. I mean, for Apple to double, geez. Only got to double, another $3 trillion in market cap, guys. Anyway, Michael says, let's talk about the Orca decks that I bought a month ago. Orca tokens, man. I used to farm some Orca tokens back in the day, but I sold them all for cash money. Didn't work out very well. Usually got smashed by impermanent loss trying to farm on Orca, but Orca's a really nice exchange. Good decentralized exchange. Of course, the decentralized exchange experience on Solana generally pretty good. Used Jupiter the other day, do some stuff. Pretty nice. I liked it. It's cheap. Unlike Uniswap on Ethereum mainnet chain. Okay, where are we up to now? How's Lark today? Lark's doing good, man. Having a great time talking to you guys. Retro Bill. Just point those money cannons this way and feed the plankton. Yeah. Do you think that Charles is asking for trouble by calling out the SEC like this in reference to Charles Hoskinson, the front man of Cardano? No, I don't think so. I think he should be calling out the SEC, and probably they need to sue the SEC, to be honest. Can't tell them what to do, obviously. That sounds like a real pain in the ass if you ask me, but man, they might have to do that. They might have to do that just to, figure all this crap out because it's ridiculous what's going on. Rex says, our stonk's going to keep moving. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those weird situations where the market just refuses to get like mega bearish. Things just keep pumping. We're so close to all-time highs for the stock market. Like it's wild. It's actually wild. At some point we'll have to pay the piper, but maybe not today. Maybe not next month. Maybe not next year. We'll see how it goes. Meme Dream, good call on CB. Man, I wish I'd bought more. I added a lot of Coinbase to my overall bag under $100. I've got a buy order in at $85 still in case we get a retrace. See if that gets filled or not. But yeah. Pew Pew Boom 2 says, I'm selling coin and buying more Sol and AVAX. Yeah, I mean, that's your call, man. That's your call. Certainly, they've had a nice run recently, and there might be bigger upside other places. For me, I'm keeping my coin stock. I think it's going to go much higher, and it's already in a nice place. You see, the nice part about that is you don't have to pay any taxes on the capital gains for those stocks here. So that's a bonus for me and makes it an interesting crypto proxy bet. Money 101, do you think that Moonbeam Glimmer has a bright future? Yes, I hope so. But yes, I've got a big bag, and my big bag hopes that it has a bright future. Anyway, yeah, I think it does have a good future. I think it's a very well placed cryptocurrency to have that best of both worlds of the Polkadot ecosystem and the Ethereum ecosystem. Look, DOT hasn't been getting a lot of attention right now. Polkadot has been kind of forgotten about by everybody. Everyone's sort of hyping over Solana right now and hyping over Avalanche right now. But Polkadot, I think, is one not to necessarily ignore. Now, I got my Polkadot unlocked for my parachains recently, and that was the parachain thing didn't work out very well. What are you going to do? Locked up my DOT at, I don't know, $40 or whatever, put it in the parachain auctions for 2 years, get it back. It's worth $5. The parachains you backed end up not being worth all that much anyway. Would have been better off just staking or selling, either way. But I restaked my Polkadot bags. They're currently staking, earning me sweet DOT rewards every single day, which I love. So we'll see how things continue to play out. But I think the Polkadot ecosystem could be a bit of a sleeper right now as Polkadot 2.0 hype starts to heat up in the coming months. We could see the Polkadot ecosystem tokens like Moonbeam moving. Okay. Bella, Letty, and Ali. Coinbase is owned by the big funds. They're going to pump it. Yes. Yes. Okay, where are we up to now? See some super chats here. Jed, thanks for the super chat, man. Mike, good question. I like this one. He asks, can you explain the difference between running a node and mining Bitcoin? Yes, running a node, you're simply helping to verify transactions, essentially. Mining Bitcoin, you're actually, it's like the nodes are just observers. They're watching the miners do the work. Probably the best way to describe it. The miners are the ones actually down in the mines, hitting the rocks, digging the gold out. The nodes are the guys sitting up on their lawn chairs watching, saying, hey, good job, boy. Make sure you put that gold in the bucket. Okay, good stuff over there, man. Kind of like that. So if you are running a node for Bitcoin, you will not receive any money for doing that. You can receive positive vibes from doing that, knowing that you're supporting decentralized networks and the best, hardest money in the world. But you ain't going to get any money. Mining Bitcoin, and of course, a node can be run for dollars. Very cheap to buy a node device or run a node in Amazon Web Services or some other service provider like that. Mining Bitcoin is going to require an investment in a machine that can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000. Plus, then you got to run it. It's very hot. It's very loud. It's very energy hungry. They cost a lot of money to run. If you don't have super dirt cheap power, you're never going to be able to run it profitably. So those are some of the things to keep in mind there. Andrew, thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Where are we up to next here? Yo, Lark, Jesus coin is rising. Blessing, no pressure. May want to research the good deeds and charts. Thanks for the super chat, Lee. The thing says I effed up and bought 200K worth of coin at $400. No. Yeah, I started buying my coin stocks at much higher prices. So it's going to take a while to really see huge gains come back from that. But hey, nevertheless, I think that even if you bought it at $400, you will make money on that at some point. Not financial advice, obviously, but if you're still holding that, the time will come. Tatsuro Erie says, who is your favorite YouTuber and unfavorite YouTuber? I guess if you're talking about crypto YouTubers, to be honest, I don't really watch crypto YouTube. I ain't got time for that, man. If I am watching something on YouTube, it is not crypto YouTube. Let's put it that way. I spend enough time talking and thinking about crypto all the time. So my favorite YouTubers are completely unrelated to crypto. Somebody whose content I've watched a lot recently, like Alex Hormozi, for example, sort of business stuff, entrepreneur stuff, different videos. I'm not even sure who the names of some of the creators are, but on like, creating shorts and faceless YouTube channels and like YouTube strategy and stuff like that. That stuff's very interesting for me. That's how I spend my free time, watching content on YouTube when I so like to do it. But in terms of crypto YouTubers, I ain't got time for that, man. Andrew says, will we ever see a 70% pullback after the Bitcoin ETF is approved? Bear markets, will bear markets be forever changed? That's a very interesting question. Diminishing returns. Now, this cycle, maybe not. This cycle is probably going to be bigger returns, potentially, than the previous cycle. That Bitcoin ETF could drive things crazier than people expect. It's a wild card. How much money will come in? How many people are going to be woken up from their slumber and come sell into that hype? We're going to see all this play out, of course. But look, 70% pullbacks can and probably will still happen. Maybe it's only going to be a 60% pullback next time. The thing is yeah, it's going to be a much more mature market. And over time, we're going to see markets mature a lot more. But thinking with gold, $12 trillion market cap or something like this, from 2K, it went down over years. It had a massive pullback, much slower moving. And maybe Bitcoin will start moving slower like gold does. Tech stocks have had 60, 70, 80% drawdowns in 2022. Some of those have recovered massively. Some of those have even hit new all-time highs. But we had some crazy, crazy moves right across the board in the tech space. So I would not be shocked to see huge pullbacks. But things could start getting a little less intense in terms of the pullbacks and the volatility. And over time, I really think we're going to see the volatility slow down a lot on crypto. And that's part of the asset discovery. That's part of the price discovery of the asset class, that over time, we start seeing volatility come down. We start seeing it be Wall Streetified, more commoditized, more just stuck sitting in people's retirement accounts and stuff like that. So, okay. Crypto G says, give us your thoughts on DOT. I just talked about Polkadot a few minutes ago, so you just missed our Polkadot conversation there. Evan says, I heard if you run your own Bitcoin node, you can store your own Bitcoin. Look, that's something that, what do we say here? That's something a lot of Bitcoin maximalists will tell you, that in order to store your own Bitcoin, you have to run your own node. It's not true. It's not true. And anybody telling you that is being disingenuous or perhaps misrepresenting reality. All you need to do to store your own Bitcoin is to preferably get a hardware wallet. That's really the safe way to do it. Get your hardware wallet, withdraw it from Coinbase or Binance or wherever else you have your Bitcoin sitting, and boom, now you got your own Bitcoin held. Now, they say you should run your own node because, one, they want more people to run nodes. It's better for the network, creates a more robust network. I get that. But it's a misinterpretation to say that you have to run your own node in order to store your own Bitcoin. Now, their argument is going to be that's only the only real way that you can really, truly verify that what you got is what you got. And I trust the network personally. Maybe I should be running my own node, but I trust the network. There's thousands and thousands of people out there running nodes, doing a great service for the network. Unsung heroes. Thank you very much for all of you who do run nodes. Gray says, Lark, it seems like you're invested in every stock in crypto and in every sector. Do you really have any true faith in a single asset, or are you just throwing money at anything? That's absolutely not true. I am not invested in every stock and in every crypto and in every sector. I currently have about 15, 16, maybe 17 cryptos in my portfolio, mostly focused on blockchains, mostly focused on DeFi, and mostly focused on gaming. Not that many sectors, to be honest, and not that many coins, to be honest. Now, maybe I have a few more coins than is necessary. Possibly. And when it comes to stocks, I've got like 30 stocks or something like that. It's not that crazy. And a lot of them are, again, similar sectors: renewable energy, banking stocks, tech stocks, stuff like this. Sectors that I can kind of connect with and make sense to me, electric vehicles. So No, I don't agree with that sentiment at all. I have faith in plenty of things. I have faith that electric vehicles are going to be the future of vehicles. I have faith that blockchains are going to revolutionize the world, which is why I'm invested in some of what I think are the leading blockchains. Maybe I'm wrong on that assessment. The numbers will prove themselves in time, of course. I think that renewable energy is the future of energy, which is why I invest in renewable energy companies, especially here where I live, and so on and so forth. Right. So I don't have to have a faith in a single asset. Right. And maybe you're saying, well, why don't I just hold Bitcoin? Everything else is a scam. Stocks are a scam. Altcoins are a scam. Everything is a scam. Gold's a scam. Silver's a scam. Real estate's a scam. You should only hold Bitcoin. Anything else means you're a scammer and a bad person and you don't know what you're doing. You should go all in on Bitcoin. Look, if that's your opinion, that's fine. I'm not saying that's your opinion. But I've certainly seen people with that opinion. Some advocates for Bitcoin are all in on Bitcoin, and that's fine. But I like to have a bit of diversification. Now, maybe I'm wrong in my diversification. Maybe I should be only Bitcoin. I don't agree. And of course, that's the great part about investing. I get to do my portfolio, you get to do your portfolio, and to do what you would like to do with it. And if you want to have fewer bets, more concentrated, that's also up to you, man. And I respect that. I respect that as well. Okay. Where are we up to now? Brandon says, is there any sort of truth to what Charles Hoskinson said about the 51% attack on the Bitcoin network by BlackRock? Look, right now, I haven't looked at the mining pool chart in a while. Last time I looked, it was about 3 different mining pools would be able to do a 51% attack if they all coordinated together or if they were taken over by somebody. But the thing is, with these mining pools, and look, it's true, but it's not true. Let's put it this way. If there was a major collusion of mining pools, they could do a 51% attack on the network, which would cause a hard fork, which would cause all those miners to be excluded from the network. It would definitely cause some damn drama in the Bitcoin space. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin would survive, and you'd basically just end up having a hard fork of a new Bitcoin with a bunch of rebellion miners and some hash wars going on. And we've seen this kind of stuff play out before with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and Bitcoin's always come out on top in all these situations. And these Bitcoin miners attacking the Bitcoin network would be shooting themselves in the foot, literally destroying their own business and their own investment and their own infrastructure for no real reason. No, and the thing is too, a lot of the mining power in these Bitcoin mining pools is actually from regular people. Now, obviously, over time, Bitcoin has become more industrialized. Bitcoin mining has become more industrialized. But yeah, a lot of regular people still contribute power to those mining pools. And those people, if they saw this stuff happening, would pull their support, and those mining pools wouldn't have the power to do the things that are claimed in this situation. So the thoughts of a 51% attack are generally overblown when it comes to Bitcoin. I think it's something it's technically possible and could happen for a block or two, but it wouldn't really play out very well for the people trying to do it. To be honest, it would just cause a chain split and a fork, and then a new blockchain comes out, and the other guys are all screwed because they're mining the old blockchain, and they all rush back and mine Bitcoin again, hoping that we all forget about them trying to do some Judas crap. Anyway. What are we up to here? Okay, we'll do 1 or 2 more here, and then we're going to finish up, okay? What do you think about a 33K portfolio, all top 50 coins? Could turn into by the peak of the next bull run, hoping for 200K plus. Kobe, I don't know what that's going to turn into, man. If you have equal amounts of all top 50 coins, I mean, I would say from here, we're looking at potential 10x moves, not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do. I don't know. I can't predict the markets, right? I just try to do my best investing in markets and trying to share the knowledge that I gain along the way with that anyway. But if you have 33K invested today, if you invested it all today, I don't know what you're doing. I'm not telling you to do that. This is just some speculation here. If you took that 33K and invested it today, a 10x return is not out of the question. Obviously, you have to sell at the right time. Markets might go in the other direction. You could lose all your money in a very short amount of time. Or, on paper losses, you might have to hold longer than you might think you want to do. the market can remain irrational longer, you can remain solvent, all that kind of stuff. Keep that in mind. Now, if you've been adding for the last 6 months or a year and your portfolio is currently worth 33K, then your potential to get that return, yeah, maybe it's quite interesting. Maybe you've got a quite nice situation set up there. So the potential's there. Let's say the potential's there. Not saying it's definitely going to happen, but the potential's there. And you have to remember, of course, that when the time comes, you need to click the sell button, because your danger for that is you would round trip it. You watch it go from 33K to 200K to 300K maybe, and then you think it's going to go to 1 million, and then it drops back down to 33K. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys. Okay. Fern J75. This is going to be the last one we do for today, guys. Your thoughts on the BINANCE news, which apparently was the need to get the Bitcoin spot ETF approval. That's, it's a conspiracy theory, essentially. It's one that would not surprise me that BlackRock wanted to get Binance out of the way, or at least put into a corner, get a WF guy in charge of the show over there, and then you get a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Maybe. Certainly an interesting theory. It's one that we've talked about here on the channel. Wouldn't surprise me. It's in 30 games that go on out there in the world. I wouldn't be blown away by any means. And its effect on regulated exchange like LCX. Look, I think regulated exchanges have an interesting future. And when we talk about regulated, you got to keep in mind, Binance is regulated in a lot of places. It's just some places more so than others, let's say. So we're seeing a lot more regulated exchanges coming on, a lot less of the wild west of crypto, and that's going to continue. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Thanks to everyone for bringing awesome questions to the live chat. Absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next stream.